Hello there ladies and gentlemen and all variations thereupon. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You see, today we're not going to be making any nerdy artifacts or some cool prop from a movie. Today we're going to be making some hopefully delicious Christmassy drinks. Now it should be said that I don't actually drink myself, so these drinks are going to be alcohol free, but I will endeavour to explain as we go along exactly how you can make them more adult beverages. Nothing brings the warmth of the last summer fruits like that most iconic of Christmas drinks, mulled wine. For this recipe we will need an orange, golden caster sugar, blackberries, some cloves, star anise, that's pomegranate juice, apple juice, and 3 black peppercorns. Measure out 500 millilitres of pomegranate juice. Then measure 250 millilitres of apple juice. Dump in a handful of blackberries. Add in some sugar. And the next step is to cut up an orange into quarters. Finally, a cinnamon stick. And now we let it simmer on a low heat for 10 minutes. First up, let's scoop out the oranges as they're going to be heavy and will cause problems. Of course, if you wanted to add on this recipe a bit, you could replace some of the juice with red wine according to the strength that you want to make it. But if wine isn't your thing, then why not make a more down-to-earth drink in some spiced apple cider? Cool. For this recipe we'll need some mace blades, cinnamon, cloves, allspice berries, golden caster sugar, apple juice, and some ginger. Begin by measuring out 250 millilitres of apple juice. Then begin adding your ingredients. 1 cinnamon stick, 2 whole cloves, 1 mace blade, some ginger, 100 grams of sugar, I don't have a scale, a tablespoon of allspice, and some orange or clementine zest. Bring this to the boil and then turn the heat down to let it simmer for another 10 minutes. Sieve out the spices and then add to a bottle. And add apple juice to the desired concentration. And of course, if you wanted to make this recipe more adult, then rather than adding in the extra apple juice at the end, you simply add, well, apple cider. For our final recipe, I'm going to try and make some homemade hot chocolate with a bit of a peppermint twist. For this recipe we'll need some chocolate, milk, as per your preference of milk, some genuine American peppermint, and optionally some nutmeg or whipped cream as per your preference. Begin by boiling the kettle. Pour the water into a saucepan and placing in some sort of container capable of both floating and withstanding 100 degrees centigrade. Break up your chocolate and melt it in the bowl. Next, put milk into a saucepan. I'm using 750 millilitres here, but use as much as you want to make. And add in melted chocolate. The reason I melted the chocolate separately before adding it in is because before I tried making things with chocolate, putting it directly on the heat, and it just burns without me knowing. And that flavoured the whole of my cooking with burnt chocolate. Because this way, with it already being melted, I don't have to put it on the heat very long. I've just got to heat up the milk and mix in the chocolate. Add in a few drops of your peppermint. And it's ready to bottle. Try not to overfill. And now, of course, if you wanted to make that more adult, all you need to do is, well, you could Irish it up in the same way you'd Irish up a coffee, adding in some whiskey, maybe some Baileys. Or the way I would do it if I was making it for someone who drinks, is that I would use some peppermint schnapps rather than using the peppermint flavour. But my dear friends, we can't really say it's a successful Christmas drink unless it actually tastes good. So I've poured myself a little bit of each, and I'm going to do a taste test on each of them. I haven't poured much out because it's got to be drunk by other people on Christmas Day. So let's just give it a try. I think first I'm going to go for the apple cider. Now I've warmed these up briefly because they've cooled in between the actual making of this. So these are reheated versions. The apple cider, you can definitely smell the... see, I was worried this one would be a little bit bland. Wouldn't be as much of the spice in there because I'd watered it down with the extra apple juice, and I put quite a lot in to make it up. But you really can smell the spice in there, so let's give it a go. Ooh. Now that's nice. You can definitely taste the cinnamon, but it's none of it strong. It's all mild in the undertones of it, and it's very warmy. You know, you get that warm, cosy, Christmassy feel. I'm going to be looking forward to that one. And next, this is one I'm particularly looking forward to, the hot chocolate. And you can definitely smell the peppermint in there. Okay, I made this with what we call it Galaxy in Britain. I believe the Americans and possibly Australians would call it Dove. Not certain on that, but it's made by Mars. And Mars, if you're not making a mixture of your Galaxy / Dove hot chocolate with peppermint in, you need to get on it. This is gorgeous. That's brilliant. I love that. And we'll be making that outside of Christmas as well. And finally, we're going to go for the king of Christmas drinks, the mulled wine. It definitely smells fruity. You can definitely smell the fruit in there over the spices. It has... you can taste the raspberry in there. The raspberry is the strongest. And the spices are like... It's really nice. The spices are complementing. So you can tell I'm not really a foodie person, so I struggle to find words to describe this, but the spices really complement the raspberry in there. There's a hint of the pomegranate. can imagine some people might find this one a bit, I mean, it's going to be an acquired taste, I should imagine. If you don't like licorice, I suppose you wouldn't like this. Not that it tastes too much of licorice, but it's got that similar sort of flavour profile to it. So I think this one's going to be a personal preference, but I really like that. It has really strong taste when it's in the mouth, and like a sort of aftertaste that lingers around the back of your throat. It's gorgeous. So there we have it, 3 Christmas drinks to see us through the holidays. And whatever holiday you're celebrating this year, be it Christmas or Saturnalia or Hanukkah or whatever, I hope you have a very happy holidays, and I'll see you in what's hopefully a much better year.